Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel siyasifunde incwadi ebhalwe ngolimi lwethu lwesiZulu bese siza la sokhuluma ngazo le indaba esuke sifundile, senzela laba phela abasuke bengenazo isikhathi ukuthi bayifunde incwadi nalaba abanqenayo nje ukufunda. Siyaphinda futhi sibuka ama reality shows ethala eMzansi bese siza la sokhuluma ngawo lama reality shows, senza ama reviews or ama recaps bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma nga any other issues avukayo uma ngabe lama sesiwabukele kwe-TV. And namhlanje sikhuluma nga any other issues avukayo after sesibukile ishow kwe-TV. Uma ngabe uyaqala ukusijoyina namhlanje and you really like our content, ungakhohlwa ukuthi upress usubscribe la ngezansi. Uma ngabe ibutton libomvu lisho ukuthi awukazi uzusubscribe, do not forget to press the notification bell light ukuze ukasubscribe ukuze phela uthole umyalezo uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Namhlanje ngifuna ukukhuluma nge-Real Housewives of Durban. We just watched episode 8 yesterday and it was quite interesting. I think we got enough drama. I think we really got enough drama from that episode. It was well done. It was well edited. But as we move along the season, we actually realize ukuthi kunabantu who are not participating as much. Kunabantu who think they can get away with with being nje inyoka nje ezihamba la phansi. Phela sifuna ibuye ivusa ikhanda, inyoka fanele ibuye ivusa ikhanda ubone ukuthi iyaphila yini ngempela. So I feel like I did that video kaNonku to say ukuthi uNonku uthwele bola ku Real Housewives of Durban, because I feel like she's the one that gives us enough to talk about when it comes to Real Housewives of Durban. Not only does she give us enough to talk about, but she gives them enough to talk about, because every time they are together bakhuluma ngoNonku. But then I was watching abanye ama videos abanye bantu and some articles that have been written online as well about the episode yaizolo, and a lot of the people are feeling like uNonku says too much. I guess ukuthi ene issue that was a trigger for a lot of people was the fact that umenshine uAyanda on a conversation that they were having at the table, and they feel like she shouldn't have done that. And even that last season, you remember go to the first episode that we watched, Real Housewives of Durban, season 1 episode 1, it was Uyena futhi uNonku talking about being the mother of the child of the late Usfi. So people felt ukuthi it wasn't something that should have been done at the table. She should have called Ayanda ayokhuluma naye separate. So people feel ukuthi she seems to say a lot. And honestly, I mean, part of it I do agree. Like the episode yaizolo, I did feel like angazi why did she have to give us so much when it came to a relationship yakhe noSfiso, because all the question was about ilokhuzana was about inhlawulo yengane yakhe uNothile. But I felt like at the same time kungenzeka ukuthi and she has been feeling like since the first season she hasn't got a chance to explain the nature of a relationship yakhe with uSfiso Ncwane, and she's never gonna really get a chance, because every time she wants to talk about it people feel like she does not have a right to do it. So she just felt like maybe it's an opportunity for her ukuthi akhulume ngale relationship lena. Why is it so significant for her, and why didn't she just focus on ingane and ukuhlawula kwengane as akhulume ngendaba ukuthi uSfiso had promised her ukuthi uzomshada nokuthi wayeshada umuntu wrong. We all know amadoda say that all the time when they want to cheat anyway, but we don't know ngempela ukuthi any relationship yabo injani. And I feel like maybe ufeelile ukuthi ufuna uthatha that opportunity to talk about it, but it just didn't make sense at the moment because that's not what she was asked. So, but I started to feel ukuthi do we have a right honestly to feel like uNonku says too much? And what if she stopped ukuthi akhulume too much? What would we have on the show? And as viewers, honestly, if we are honest with ourselves, what do we prefer? Do we prefer uNonku who says too much all the time, says more than they're supposed to? Or do we prefer, for an example, Lachonco, who is like the opposite? Phela Lachonco is like a secret agent, guys. Lachonco is like a secret agent because whereas a secret agent, a secret agent it's somebody that can come. It's just a normal person. It's your neighbor. They give you the wrong name and they're working for the government. They're investigating something here. and when ukhululekile uyaphila nalo muntu but there's someone else, and then one day you find out even the name that they gave you was not their name, because phela they were a secret agent, and you find out this whole information about them that they never shared with you. I feel like Lachonco is like a secret agent, because honestly guys, what do we know about Lachonco except for the fact that Unonkanyiso, who used to work at Vuma FM. A lot of the information even that we have discussed on this channel about Lachonco is the information that we got from online. Sizibhekela yona information, because she does not share anything on the show. She does not share even usifihlela ngisho Mr. Petal, guys. I mean, really honestly, sifihlelelwano Mr. Petal akashare a lot lokhuzana Lachonco. Asimazi ukuthi usebenzaphi, asimazi, we don't know a lot about her businesses except for those products that she introduced last season that she doesn't really talk about a lot. Even this season we don't see any of her family members. I do understand maybe if she doesn't want her child to be on the show, but since she's not married and we cannot see her husband, maybe we should see her mom or something. We've seen Londi London's mom, at least, her sister maybe. We don't know a lot about Lokhuzana Unonkanyiso Chonco. And honestly, mhlambe one day sizothola nanokuthi her real name is not even Unonkanyiso Chonco, because she doesn't give us a lot. And they Unonkube no Lachonco, they're like two extremes, because one says too much. Umbuzo wodwa athulule yonke into nento engeyona yakhe vela ithulule, and then the other one on the other side umbuzo, and she does everything she can to avoid the question and gives you nothing. And a lot of the other women that are around them seem to be moving towards inside Liga Lachonco in a way, because even though they are not as secretive as Lachonco, but they haven't given us a lot too. I mean, we have Jojo, who accidentally told us about isejari yomkhonyana wakhe, which you can clearly see she wasn't planning to talk about it. It was just her parents that asked her about it on camera, and then she had to explain Kevin had surgery not so long ago. And then Masasilapo on a trip, because she gets emotional about her husband being sick, and then she talks about the fact that her husband had a heart attack a week ago. Shouldn't that have been her main storyline? She seems to tell us what's going on in her life by accident, but we are on a reality show. We're supposed to at least get a little bit of what's really going on in your life, and we are not getting it. And then Sibe no Lokhuzana, Sibe no Sorisha, who, okay, we understand, some of us might not understand the significance of losing a dog, but it seemed like she lost her dog while she was on a trip. But she didn't talk about it. She talks about it Masebuyi. Like, they hold back information. Guys, what do you know about Annie except because she's married to a rich husband? If I said to you, name ama businesses Annie, like now, from the top of your head, from just watching the show, not what we went and researched online, from just watching the show, imapha business asekhulume ngawo like on the show. She talked about her sisters, her family. Do you know anything about her family? Because the sister that we saw was actually her sister-in-law. Do we know anything about these people? So I do understand Abantu saying ukhuluma too much, but at the same time, that's all that we have right now. I feel like that's the only hope we have of this show, is that every episode she's gonna say more than she's supposed to, and then we get something to talk about. Angaba ivovo liyavuza, but at least malvuza ivovo, we get something, siyamukela something, and we have something to talk about. Then the secret agent who's never going to tell us anything, and even when she tells us something, we are suspicious because she holds on to information for so long. Guys, information that we know about Lachonco, even from season 1, we had to go and Google it, because she said Google it. She said Google me. So we went and Googled her. Masim Googlisha Lachonco, we found out ukuthi she was supposed to be in a relationship with the former president, but it's like they are breaking up. But on the show, she was talking as if they are still together. So we the whole season we wait for her to tell us the truth about the relationship. She doesn't. She comes in season 1 when we already over it. We've read the papers, read the articles, listened to YouTubers. We already know they're broken up with the former president. She comes in season 2 a year later when we actually not even interested in that information anymore. She tells us about the breakup. Now we are supposed to, oh wow, shame, but they broke. Kanjani, when it happened long ago, almost 2 years ago, and then now she's only talking about it. And then even now, Mr. Petal will only hear about him when they already married and they are divorced, and then she will tell us about Mr. Petal. Does it really work for the show for these women to be so secretive? And can we really be so upset about Nonku, who seems to talk about anything and everything esengqondweni yakhe? And if we're going to limit Nonku and say ukuthi akangasho as much as she's saying, then what are we going to have on the show? Because you are not going to get that from the other housewives. They're not willing to give it to us. They're not willing to give it. All they're willing to do is go on a dinner date, go on a lunch date, go on a trip, spring has sprung, what, but they're not willing to share their lives. And Nonku is the one that is able to share even parts of her life that are imperfect, because right now all she seems like is like she was a groupie kaSifiso Ncwane, and she got pregnant by him, and Sifiso Ncwane lied to him, and she wasn't intelligent enough to realize that Sifiso was actually lying to her when he was saying he wants to leave Ayanda and she's not the one that he should have married and all of that. That's how we say, but she is willing to share that, as imperfect as it is, that information about her life. At least she is willing to share it. What else do we have from these women? They just want us to think they are in these perfect relationships with their husbands who are rich and nothing goes on there. What are we going to have on the show if we don't have uVovulevu's abantu wethu uNonku ngoba phela uyena osisiza? I don't know what you think, you guys. Which one do you prefer, honestly? Do you prefer the secret agent or do you prefer uVovulevu's? I like uVovulevu's, and I'm hoping ukuthi iVovulevu's every episode until the end, because if it doesn't, honestly, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to be looking forward to? I'm hoping ukuthi livuza nje iVovo kulokuqhubeka, and nabo uyabasiza, because when malivuza iVovo, everyone talks about the fact that iVovo livuzile, then nobody is focusing on their lives. So they should actually be grateful ukuthi uNonku is handling the show the way that she's handling the show. And they should be happy ukuthi she's saying as much as she's saying, because if she wasn't, then maybe we will move our focus away from uNonku and honestly be asking questions as to why these women are not sharing anything about their lives. Anyway, guys, that's my video today. Please like the video before Pumegona. Don't forget to share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Nginithanda kakhulu.